I'd like to do one more example or one more thing with this graph. What I'd like to do is I'd like to graph the inverse. So here's going to be my original function. Suppose this is my f, and I'd like to graph f inverse. There's two ways I can do this. One is I could actually find a bunch of points on this graph, and that's what I'm going to do, and then find the corresponding inverse points. So what I know is I have the point 0, 5. You can read on the graph. I also notice I have the point 2, 6. If you actually read off, you'd notice I had the point 2, 6. Right? We also have the point 4, 7. And I could get a bunch of points. Well, those are points on F. If I wanted some points on F inverse, all I do is take those points and reverse the coordinates. So I'd have 5, 0, 6, 2, 7, 4. And so if I went on my graph, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like there's 5, 0. Then I'd have 6, 2. And then I'd have 7, 4. And it's a little hard with my doohickey here to get those. And then what I would do is I would pull out and I'd graph. Right, I always do at least some of that. If I need to graph an inverse, and I can, I get some points on the original and then I reverse them. Now I'm guessing some of you may remember graphing an inverse by doing something else. What some of you may remember doing to graph the inverse is to graph the line y equals x. Right? We're going to see more of this. But to graph the line y equals x, and then in order to graph the inverse, what we do is we do a mirror image of the original function across y equals x. And I always talk about it this way. If the red line is my original function, and suppose that was red paint, and then I folded this graph over on my dotted blue line, that red paint would produce what's now my black line. And so what I would actually do is take every single one of the points, go directly to the y equals x line, and the same distance out the other side. So I want to try to go perpendicular to the y equals x line and out the other side and create an entirely new graph. So you want, that's what many of you I'm sure saw. But what I usually try to do again is graph some points. Then I graph my y equals x line, and I use the points to do a little connect the dots as I'm trying to do that mirror image. Okay, well now you can actually go out and try some of the problems from the book from section 2.4.